as well. Um, Looked like Devin Haney has a gripe. Um, Devin Haney, 31-1, perhaps still should be 32-0. We all know that the performance enhancer is real. Ever since the East Germans, back in the day, and the Russians, brought it to the forefront. It's real. It works. Okay, so if anybody's wondering out there, if Ryan Garcia took something, if it worked or not, uh, just go back in your history books and look at what the performing enhancers actually really do. Ryan Garcia was on fighting on another level. The night he fought Devin Haney, went out there and did something nobody thought he was going to do, and that was beat Devin Haney so convincingly. The world had no doubt that Ryan Garcia perhaps was the second coming, the next big thing. You never, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is, what do you think as far as where do we go with Ryan Garcia now, since the B sample did test positive, A sample and the B sample did test positive? What do we go? What's our thought process now? Do we give Ryan Garcia the benefit of the doubt? Can we say maybe it was some tainted meat or something?
Well,
Can we talk to me?
Well, I will say this in regard to Ryan Garcia. Yes, of course, the A sample and the B sample came back testing positive for Earnin, which is, from my understanding of what it does for athletes, is it helps essentially grow muscles faster, right? That's the performance enhancing. I guess it develops your muscles at a quicker level.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's what most performance enhancers do.
Well, no. Some help with your cardio. Some help with all kinds of different things. You know what I mean?
What? Tell me this: was it a steroid? Is that a steroid? Tell me that.
Is Ostarine a steroid? It is very popular anabolic SARM. So yeah,
That's a
looks like
steroid. Yeah, that's a steroid. Most steroids build muscle.
well,
So yeah. That will fall under the rule breaking protocol for Ryan Garcia, I would imagine.
I no, it definitely does. Now Ryan Garcia has come to his social media and said that he has gotten his hair tested, and it says Ryan Garcia had his hair tested, and his legal team says it came up negative, and they believe that contamination caused his positive test. In a statement on his Instagram, on at King Ryan, he says, "I beat the case like orange juice. Let's go." The glove.
He didn't beat the case. He didn't beat the case.
He didn't beat the case. No.
He didn't beat the case.
I'm
And the thing is, I heard him talking about that just last week. I think he was talking about he beat the test and whatnot. He didn't beat the test. He's just making up a story now. Ryan Garcia, that cloud is not going to go away until Ryan Garcia admits it, or they suspend him or ban him for so many fights, or a substantial amount of time. Something got to happen here. He just can't, get a positive test and nobody do anything. Something's got to happen here. What do you think should happen?
Obviously, this is going to go into some sort of, legal fight, as typically these things do. But the commission in the state of New York is going to have to overturn the victory. If he has an A sample and a B sample, it's got to be ruled a no contest. That's just a fair result. Now, he can say it's contaminated all he wants to, and perhaps he can put on a case to prove that it was contaminated. I don't know how you're going to do that. But if you have an A sample and a B, there's a reason they take a B sample. You know what I mean? They say just in case something goes wrong with the A sample, and maybe it's a false positive, which we know can happen. Things like this can happen. We have the backup, right? And then we test the backup. And if it doesn't come up in the backup, okay, you're clear. But if it comes up in the backup, you're not looking good. You know what I mean? So he's well to put on his case, and perhaps he can prove something. But I think that in the interim, you have to.
How many times the guy have proven the test was wrong?
I don't know off the top, but I would say that's very seldom.
Come on, man. That's not the way it happened, man. Ben Johnson didn't even get to the hotel before they was like, bro, give me that medal back. You dirty, you dirty. And the thing with Ryan Garcia, he's gonna have to admit it, man. He's gonna have to come out and say, I wouldn't necessarily say he's gonna have to come out and admit um, that he did something wrong, but he's definitely gonna have to come out and say somehow, it did get in the system, and somehow, he did fight dirty that night, and maybe we erase it and run it back, just so I could prove that I'm still a better man. I think that's the only way he's going to be able to save some face as far as this goes. That's the only way.
Now, this comes from the New York State Athletic Commission, not in specific regard to this situation, but this is what they say about prohibited substances and the authority of the commission. It says the use of any prohibited performance-enhancing drug, PED, during training or competition shall be considered unsportsmanlike conduct, a failure to engage in good faith and honest competition, and an act detrimental to the interest of combat sports, and shall be subject to any licensee found to be in violation of this prohibition to potential purse forfeiture, so he could potentially lose the money that he made on that fight, a fine from the commission, a change in the bout result, which we were just talking about, or a license revocation, meaning he wouldn't be able to fight in the state of New York any longer. Or all of those could happen. He could lose his money, get fined, have the win overturned.
You know what? I don't think they're going to overturn the win. I think they'll call it a no contest.
Well, that's the change of the result. That's what it means.
Yeah.
The changing of the result.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be a no contest, like it never happened, essentially.
Yeah.
Which I actually think is the fair thing to do. Now, I think also Haney might be owed a little bit of that purse.
Oh, yes, I think so as well. I mean, but I've seen fighters fight with, the padding taken out of their gloves, and I mean, which is a blatant foul. Such as this right here.
Yeah.
This right here, being on an enhancer going into the fight, it just gives you an advantage. It just does. And for it not to be looked at just as illegal as taking the padding out of the glove, because a kid's got a dangerous left hook. And on some enhancers, it's going to be enhanced. I would imagine, right? So it seemed like those guys with the padding, a lot of those guys got banned from boxing. Never to fight ever again.
Look, we understand that
Antonio Margarito.
Well, the thing is, too, for any of these issues, whether you're padding the gloves, whether you're putting something in your fist tape that give you an unfair advantage, whether you're trying to have the PEDs or whatever the case might be, this should be taken with the utmost seriousness every single time by every state athletic commission. State athletic commission, because
tell me this. Do you think it's going to be a slap on the wrist because it's Ryan Garcia? And this kid's making a lot of money for the sport. He's got a lot of followers. A lot of his followers are showing up, in droves. I mean, right now, everybody's making a whole lot of money off this kid. You think they're going to give him a slap on the wrist, or you think they're going to do something?
I mean, what's a slap on the wrist?
Dude, what did they do to John Jones?
Well, they moved a whole fight for John Jones.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. So what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? You think they're going to give him a slap on the wrist and say, "Man, don't do this ever again," and we're going to erase that fight and we're going to move on? Do you think that's what's going to? Because that's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think is going to happen. 100%. That's what I think is going to happen.
I think he's going to get a fine, and I think they're going to overturn the victory to a no contest. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't think that there's going to be any suspension of his license. Revocation of his license.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. Now, also, really, how often do you see big fights, especially from Ryan Garcia, a California kid in the state of New York? I thought that was an odd venue anyway. And isn't Devin Haney from California too?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they were fighting in Brooklyn to begin with. Yeah. So maybe they're thinking, well, we're not.
Yeah, I don't want to go. I mean, I ain't going to New York anyway. I ain't going to Brooklyn. So to hell with it. That's that little fine there, that little suspension don't even matter. You can throw that one out.
That's what I'm saying. But
we ain't got to fight in New York no more.
Or
Jersey, anywhere around there. Seriously.
So I think it's going to be a slap on the wrist, a fine, and
We move on.
overturning of the win.
Move on. All right, man. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, y'all. Booker T here alongside with my main man, Brad Gilmore. And today we're talking about something that could really change the game when it comes to how you get paid.
That's right, Booker, because let's face it, life doesn't just happen every 2 weeks. So why wait for a payday? With Earnin, the money you've earned already can be in your hands today.
Earnin is this incredible app that lets you access your pay as you earn it. We're talking about up to $100 per day and up to $750 each pay period.
All you got to do is download the Earnin app, verify your paycheck, and boom, you can access up to $100 a day as you work. And the cool part, you just leave an optional tip, and any money you access plus the tip gets repaid when your next paycheck rolls in.
You know, Brad, I'm always talking about staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Imagine having that extra cash for that surprise date night, or maybe when you have to take the furry little friend to the vet unexpectedly. You know.
Absolutely, Booker. Or even those times when you need to grab a last minute gift, or maybe you're a little short on rent, or hey, even you might want to pick up some new gear for yourself or your kids or your lady.
Folks, make Earnin part of your financial playbook. Join over 3.5 million customers who are finding financial stability and peace of mind thanks to Earnin.
So don't wait around for a payday. Get your money when you need it and take control of your finances. Download Earnin today and experience what it's like to access pay on your terms.
Get started with Earnin now and join the millions who are getting their pay their way. It's time to earn in, not just earn. Check it out, man. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We got a quick show today, guys. We got to get out of here in just a bit. We got any super chatters, Brad?
Yes, we do have a couple super chatters, and then I want to make sure that we put in some predictions for the king and queen of the ring. This first one, though, comes from EWB Time, who's been a member for 14 months. Can you dig it, sucker?
Oh, yeah, man.
And then Astronaut says, sorry about the last super chat. I'm not sure what he's talking about. I wanted to ask you, do you think pro wrestling is in a better place compared to when you started or around that time in the 1990s?
Oh, hell yeah. They're making way more money. We got a lot more color. Right? Got a lot more color, a lot more African Americans, in the business, doing big things, becoming champion. So yeah, I think the business is in a much better place right now, as well as that that the road schedule is still the same, but the activities have changed a whole lot. Guys on the road, just driving down the road with a 6-pack or a 12-pack, literally, I'm serious, burning the candle at both ends. Now these young guys are really focusing on their craft and their game and going out there and performing, trying to have these, 5-star matches on a weekly basis. I think that's what their drive is more than anything these days. So yeah, I think the business is in a much better place than it was when I was in it.
Yeah, I think that, athlete recovery, there's more known about how they take care of themselves. And like you said, not the bad habits that the guys of yesteryear had. And, that's all positive. And by the way, like the women are so more prominently placed than they were 20 years ago or 30 years ago, for that matter. You have incredible matches from men, women in tags and singles now. And, they're not just like a sideshow anymore, which I think has been incredibly positive. Can you imagine like where especially the WWE, but where all wrestling would be right now if women's wrestling didn't go through that evolution and revolution that happened where it became, they became must-see matches, all the matches that we wouldn't have had. And really like half the cards are now credible, awesome, badass women's matches. And that wasn't the case in the 90s.
Nah, man, definitely. I mean, the ladies right now, everybody think about Trish and Lita, when it comes to, putting the women on the map. Was going out there and breaking it, and just taking it to another level. and leaving it all in the middle of the ring, like Becky and Trish. I mean, that stuff gave me goosebumps watching those ladies go out there and perform at that level, and have been given that chance and to have taken it and run with it to where they are right now, to where they've had their own pay-per-view. Hoping to see more of those pay-per-views where it's all ladies. I love that concept. So for me, yeah, man, Cheryl Martel would be so proud, I think, right now with what the ladies are doing in the business, because I think she was one of the pioneers as far as really going out there and focusing on performing and having a really, really good match and beating somebody up. So yeah, man, she'll be so proud right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. Evolution 2 needs to happen. Speaking of the women though, and the men for that matter, King and Queen of the Ring is going down for at in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. We've been talking about it here on the show for the last couple of weeks. We now know sort of where we are with the King and Queen matches, as well as some of the other matches we're going to see. I just wanted to bounce a couple off of you, and you give me your overall opinion on the match. Does that sound good to you?
Hey, man.
Now,
Yeah.
at the time we're taping this, we're not sure if it's going to be Randy Orton or Tama Tonga in the finals. I'm going to venture a guess to say it's going to be Randy. It just feels right. So let's just go with that. Let's say it's Randy Orton versus Gunther for the King of the Ring. Who do you like in that match? And do you like that matchup? Because to me, on paper, that almost has like dream match potential with Gunther and Randy Orton.
Man, it is dream match, and to happen in this setting, it's definitely it's pretty cool. Who does it best fit? I think it best fits Gunther, just because his long reign as IC champ definitely put him in a certain area, as far as where he's expected to be, as far as a guy that you see coming up, winning the King of the Ring. That'll be another trophy. That'll be another notch on his belt. Just letting you know his trajectory more than anything, and where he's going. Randy winning the King of the Ring. I'm not going to sit here and make book the match or anything like that. I don't want to book the match or anything like that. But Randy has been to the mountaintop so many times. He's seen it. He's done it, as well as we've known that Randy Orton has gone through injuries. Bruised, battered, and torn. He's a guy that's got a lot of miles. A lot of wear and tear on the old body, and to run as king, I think that would be putting a lot of pressure, on him. But can he do it? Oh yes, I think he can do it. I just think it'll be a lot of pressure. So I see Gunther playing that role a lot better, though.
I think so. And Triple H added that stipulation that the winner of the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournament will have a world title shot at SummerSlam, which we know, by the way, SummerSlam's 2 nights this year, or next year, I guess. Two nights. It was announced that in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 2025, it's going to be 2 nights. Well, it's a one-night event this year in Cleveland, Ohio. But yeah, the winner gets a world title shot.
Nice little nugget. That's a nice little nugget right there. That's the first. That's the first. I had to go through hell to get it. I didn't get no title shot. Just a free shot. At the title when I won the King of the Ring. No, it didn't happen like that. I had to earn it. I had to rule with an iron fist. You know what I mean? I had to beat up every peasant that they threw in front of me. You know what I mean? I think it's unfair. I really do. I think it's unfair.
Well, you know what?
Not unfair. Unfortunate. Just saying.
I like that phrase. And that's not unfair. That's unfortunate. You know what? We need to remember that. That's a good line. Did you steal that from somewhere?
Just made that up.
That's a great line. We got to keep that. That's we're getting written in a promo somewhere. But look, the other one. Let's look at the Queen of the Ring, because again, if I'm going by kind of where I think this is going, I want to go under the assumption it's going to be Lyra Valkyria, who we know is in the finals. And I'm saying most likely it's Nia Jax. It could be Bianca Belair. It's still up in the air at the time that we're doing this, but Nia, takes out Jade, and then I feel like she's going to get Bianca out of there, and it's going to be Lyra and Nia in the finals. So what I'm going to guess, but But if let's just throw Bianca in there too. Which one of those three ladies do you see Queen of the Ring benefiting the most? Because I think it's Lyra Valkyria. They really seem to be putting the rocket
Yeah,
on
I
her
mean,
and trying to establish her out of the gate.
it's no brainer, man. I feel the same way. Lyra, if she win it, just getting called up to the main roster, man, that's putting the rocket on her. All right, it's putting the rocket on her and sending her straight to the moon. And she's gonna have to, you know what I always talk about as far as the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring tournament. It's cool being in the tournament. Winning it is something totally different. But I do feel like Lyra Valkyria, she's different. It's something about her. And just, watching her in NXT for just about a year and like 5 months, 6 months, and then she's on the main roster. She's moving at a astronomical pace, man. And to watch her in the ring, her performance is on point. She knows exactly what she's doing in the ring at such a young age. So for her to have that mantle, Queen of the Ring, that moniker, it would be awesome for that young lady.
I think so too. And to me, Becky Lynch right now is still the women's world champion. She could lose it to Liv Morgan and Saudi. We'll have to see. But let's say she holds on to it through SummerSlam.
Summer
If you could
champion.
have, I almost said that. But if you could have Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the women's world title, kind of a rematch in some ways for the NXT Women's Championship that Lyra beat Becky for in NXT. Oh man, the story there is too good to pass up for me. If I was writing it, you know what I mean?
Great way to bring it all back, and we do it all over again. That would be great. That definitely would be great. That's a marquee match. Definitely.
Let me ask you this, because we have about a minute left. Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul for the title. I mean, we're expecting Cody to walk out of there. But let me ask you this. What do you want to see from Logan Paul in this match, this big marquee match, maybe the biggest of his career?
You know what, man? I'm always about the performance. Logan Paul's been doing a hell of a job as far as the performance goes. He knows and understands, seem like, what the business is all about. And it's truly about the performances and going out and creating some magic. Hopefully sometime being in the right place at the right time. I just want Logan Paul to go out there and perform at his highest level. A lot of people, are not expecting for him to win. And maybe he's not going to win, but for Logan, this is a moment that he cannot think about doing anything but taking advantage of it by going out there and giving, another great performance, such as he's been doing so many times, just to let the people know that he's not a fluke. He's not a fly by night. He's not just going to be here today and gone tomorrow. He's going to be here for quite some time. That's what I want to see out of Logan.
Yeah, man. Well, we're going to find out. King and Queen of the Ring, and we'll be back to break it down next week, of course.
That's right. I like it. Oh, yeah, man. We got to get up out of here, man. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame today. Get your champagne, wishes, caviar, dreams, Brad, for all the heavy lifting. Until next time, peace. We love you. We out.